We traveled to Australia together to teach.
Do you guys like
complete opposite?
Really? You like giant
sets?
That was where Milan we didn't get along. He's like, everyone should be doing giant sets. Everyone should be doing hyperemia. Everyone should be doing. So I was like, Milos, come on, that doesn't make sense.
Fit Club started right here at the Strip, off Hacienda and Decatur. The energy, the grit, the place that set the standard for Vegas fitness. Then came Northwest, near Summerlin, sharing the Fit Club gym culture and vibes across Las Vegas. And the crown jewel, Henderson, a cutting-edge space designed for bodybuilders, competitors, and anyone chasing their best self. Fit Club Las Vegas, now with 3 locations.
Well, Ben Pakulski, welcome to the podcast,
Thanks,
bro.
man. Thanks for having me.
It's funny, we ran into each other at Gold's Venice. I mean, obviously, what did I run into you last year in Montreal or Montreal?
Yeah.
And out of all places, I'm like, dude, what are you doing here? And like, of course, you're Canadian, but I was up there doing the show for. What show was that at? Was it a big show?
No, it was I don't even know what
It
show
was
it was.
Antoine's, remember that?
Yeah, but it was his partner. Yeah,
log something.
Yeah.
But it was actually
It was decent
good
size.
turnout,
Your lineup was crazy.
But why were you there?
I was doing some stuff with Atlantis.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we like, hey man, you got to come down. I remember we talked about the poster. I sent you a poster.
Yeah,
Got it right.
2 of them.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
It's about my gym. Thank you.
And then we just run into each other at Gold's Venice. You were the crew over there, and out of all places, I'm like, damn, okay, it's good. And I said, just happened to say, hey man, we got a podcast. Love to have you on. You're like, I'm coming to Vegas. So
Perfect time.
here we are.
Yeah. I had a marketing event today, so I'm like always trying to keep up with my marketing capabilities. So I have a couple of buddies and colleagues, business partners who are at these marketing events. I came over to do a couple dinners and podcast and do a little workout. So
Well, I'm glad you made a little time for us to come over because it's someone we always love to have a conversation with people. You know, our thing is kind of based on fitness. Everyone knows who you are from the competitive side, but it's like, man, besides the gym, MI40, that's made you, had a name in that sector. But now, of course, you're doing a lot of training and programs. And I mean, I've met a lot of people that have taken a lot of your courses and whatever else and have learned so much. But, Matt was saying, I said, what would you classify Ben as?
I'm going to say this. You're like a modern Milos in a way where you train ridiculously intense and you actually have a mind.
Someone told him that you.
I'll say.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was with Regan last night and I said, we're going to have Ben on. I'm like, have you ever trained with him? He goes, once after I turned pro. And he said, I couldn't get through the workout. I was on the floor in the locker room.
Sure, yeah.
And he said he came in. He's like, are you quit? He's like, I quit.
Yeah, I look at him, and I think you guys will see this. Like, if he fixed his legs, he could be, I don't say Mr. Olympia, but pretty damn close. Yeah. I'm like, if you just, I'm like, hey man, there's a guy over here who might be able to help you. I might know something about that. I'm like, let's go. If you really want it.
Does he need to squat in those crazy shoes that you
exactly.
wear? Yeah.
No.
What are they called?
Vibrams.
Yeah, Vibrams.
It's funny. You remember that?
Phil was doing that. Is
Yeah.
that what they were?
Yeah. I don't know
Was
if it
it
was
that company or?
company.
Vibram? Yeah, it was probably.
Well,
no.
they had a
Film's got a new company
It's
out.
a newer company, but similar
okay.
shoe.
Yep.
But I remember you were the first guy, and
2007,
I'm thinking,
man.
holy crap! Like, look at Ben's legs. There has to be
It's
a
got to be
secret
the
to this.
shoes. It's all in the fucking shoes.
Now everyone's training barefoot, man.
Yeah.
Are you training barefoot or?
Yeah.
Okay.
After the Vibrams. So the problem with the Vibrams is they fucking stunk because you couldn't wear socks. So you wear them for 2-3 weeks and they stink. So I'm like, fuck, throw these away and I go barefoot.
Yeah.
And that's why I opened my own gym, really, because I don't like to have rules. I don't like to walk
That's
around.
right. It was it a private gym at first?
First 5 years.
I remember. Yeah.
That was literally the reason, man. I was just tired of going to public gyms and having to follow rules.
And correct me if I'm wrong. You were like the first guy with the Watson dumbbells.
Yep. First guy in North America. I think Charles Poliquin was the first guy in North America.
okay.
I was the second. Yeah, and then I introduced him to everybody. So
Yeah, they sent me a pair.
yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
They're great.
But you were the first one with like the chrome looking.
Yeah. You got the fat handles or the
Or
normal ones?
like the handles or
You get the fat handles?
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the best. Everyone's like, oh, why do you have those? I'm like, fucking man up, man.
that's
Those
how
are
it's
the
supposed
best.
to be, right?
Those are the
I
best.
love that. Just man up.
Man up. Great fucking grip.
I'm going to tell, if we would have known you were coming longer, I would have made sure you got in there and see if you can do it to Regan again. That was he said it was right after he turned pro in 2016.
So, man, it doesn't have to be hard with Regan. It's got to be specific. And, and I hate to sound arrogant, like I can help him, but I can. Like, understanding mechanically how to recruit the lateral quad it's like there's just specific ways to do it, and he's clearly not doing it. And there's other people who I won't throw under the bus who are doing the same shit. Their legs are getting bigger, their adductors are getting massive, but their lateral quad's falling away. So, like, you just have to change your treatment.
Is it the foot position, you think, the width they stand? Is it?
So the lateral quad's going to get the most recruitment when the knee's at the greatest amount of flexion. So, like, calf against hamstring. So most of these guys aren't getting there, or they're bouncing there. So we have to put you in a position to get like all that level of compression. So like you got to get all the way down, and he's just not doing it. Especially when you go a little wider, you turn your feet out, you get so much more adductor. So we have to take the adductor out of it and get more lateral quad, because the adductors are really strong hip extensors. So in your bottom of a squat, you can use your knee to extend, or you can use your hip to extend, right? So you can use your quad, or you can use your adductors and glutes. So we have to minimize the recruitment of the adductor and glutes and maximize the recruitment of the quads. That's just setting it up, man. Heel elevation.
Do you think me squatting on a 2x4 in the early stages and building the crazy legs and squatting very deep?
Of course, yeah. And so it's everyone's mechanics are different. So like whatever mechanics you need to optimize quad recruitment means like getting rid of, you don't want to be super leaned forward, because that's going to make it more glute dominant. So by putting the heel elevation, you're going to get more upright, and then you're going to get more knee flexion. So you're going to get like deeper squats, and then controlling that bottom inch, which nobody does because everyone bounces. They put too much weight and they bounce. So that my thing, the reason my quads grew when they grew exponentially was like I just focused all my attention on the first inch of every rep in every exercise. So like I want to be able to contract out of that deepest squat, not bounce. So I'm stopping aggressively contracting as hard as I believe that first inch is the most important.
Don't you feel though genetics had?
Of course, massive. Yeah. So I have huge joints.
Yeah.
I have big knee joints, big hips, and really long muscle bellies. So like it was a huge advantage, because the bigger my joints, the more load I can carry, right? The more weight I can carry. And because I have long muscle bellies, it was a big difference. However, because my hips are wide, I also didn't have any quad sweep. If you heard my first critique in bodybuilding, I was like, dude, you're not going to be a professional bodybuilder. You don't have any quad sweep and your shoulders are too small. So you're like, well, how did that work out? Kind of became my strengths.
Yeah. You
just
biggest shoulders and biggest quads.
Persistence, man, being sort of crazy about it and figured it out.
You don't see this anymore. Every gym I went to when I was younger, there was always two 45-pound plates right in the middle of the squat rack where you'd put your heel on them if you didn't have the 2x4. I've never seen anyone do that in years.
We were so old school but with that, everyone squatted in that 2x4, and everyone wore no sole shoes then.
Yep.
They weren't wearing Jordans and that kind of stuff.
Well, everyone's doing it for the gram now, man. You got to look good. You got to have your.
But you really think the benefit comes? Let me ask you a question though. So you were at the top of the bodybuilding world. We all go through our trial and error with things, okay? And we all have a learning process about different things. What made you different to want to build the knowledge? What's your background that made you chase this side? Because I feel like out of all the guys that stepped away from competition, you've done the most research, trial and error, education of anyone that stepped away at that level.
The answer is I believed I wasn't as good as everyone else. So I wanted to turn over every single leaf that I could. I'm like, if I don't have the same genetics as Phil and Kai and you, and I'm like, I don't have your genetics, man. So like, what do I have to do to be the best? And I'm stubborn and obsessed in a way that like when I set the goal to go there, I'm like not doing it is not an option. Like I'm going to figure this out. And like, that's not always a good personality trait, but that's the personality trait. And so I was like, I just need to learn everything I can. So I tried to study from everyone and everything I could and tried everything. And like, I trained so much and I was so obsessed. I'm like, I need to figure this out. And I set the standard to be Mr. Olympia. And I was like, I need to get there. So every time I get to the gym, it's like, it's not just about getting in there and getting it done. It's getting there and getting it done to the best that I possibly can. So how do I make it better? How do I push myself? So there's obviously quantity and quality, right? There's like sort of two dynamics. I can always do more. That's the easy part. Doing it better is the hard part. So for me, and the reason honestly that I learned quality was injuries. Early on, I had a pretty bad injury and to my knee, and very blessed to have a mentor come along and go, "What the fuck are you doing, man? Like you have no idea what you're doing. Can I show you?" And he just blew my mind, like completely blew my mind.
right, take two. Hey guys, if you have not heard, I've launched my own TRT clinic. TRT Kingdom is now live. And if you'd like to schedule on consult or get more information, make sure you guys go over, check it out, and let us see how we can help with your health needs.
Click the link below.
Shit.
Say click the link below.
Okay. Click the link below and make.
Is that someone that we would know, or?
He passed away, man. So it's a funny story, not a funny story, sad story. So 2007, I'm getting ready for Canadian Nationals, and my knee's so bad I can't even walk upstairs. And like it's bad for 3 months. Couldn't bend my knee, couldn't walk upstairs. So I go see this guy. I had seen 15 or 20 therapists, and nobody could do anything. And I go see this guy on like a last minute like recommendation. And I was like, man, let's go. And he fixes it in 15 minutes, and the pain's completely gone. I'm like, what did you do? Like you're a wizard. And he goes, yeah, we'll come back tomorrow. I'll show you some other stuff. And so he introduced me to what I would call as intelligent training. He's like, dude, the muscles don't know weight, they know tension. And if you figure that out, that's a mathematical equation, right? So tension is physics. When you think of exercise, there's literally a physics to it. So the only actual objective thing in all of fitness is biomechanics. So anyways, we can literally measure forces at every joint angle, at every muscle. So he taught me that. And I was like, oh, this fucking blew my mind. This is crazy. So when that was before I got my pro card. I got my pro card in 2008. And then 2012, I'm 17 weeks out from the Olympia, qualified for Olympia. And I went to spend a day with him in Toronto, and he showed me every exercise. He's like, took me out. He's like, make sure you're contracting properly. You want to make sure you're training properly. And then the next day I flew out to Boise, Idaho for the bodybuilding.com show. I landed in Boise, and Val's blowing up my phone. He goes, bro, do you hear what happened to Peter? I know what happened. He goes, it was an accident. I'm like, what happened? He's like, he was in a motorcycle accident. I was like, oh, fuck, he's going to be fine. He goes, like, professional motorcycle rider. He goes, no, man, he's dead. It's fucking next day. Like, so the day before, I give him the biggest hug. And I was like, dude, I love you. I appreciate you. Like, my dreams were coming true. I got to go to Olympia. He was going to be there. And, didn't get to see me compete, man. So I really feel like I'm sort of living on in his shadow almost. Like, he's given me so much. He would have been the teacher, he would have been the guy doing what I'm doing, but I'm sort of walking in his footsteps.
Where did that knowledge come from, though?
From him?
Yeah.
So he's an engineer.
Okay.
So he was an engineering background. He also studied under a guy named Tom Purvis. Tom Purvis he's the smartest guy nobody's ever heard of. There's nobody comes close in the world to Tom Purvis when it comes to exercise. Tom's in Oklahoma, still alive, mid-60s, fucking genius of a man. Yeah, he's the guy, man. If you want to understand exercise, the true physics of exercise, he's the Arthur Jones of our time.
So, like, the biomechanics of the body, right? Like,
yeah.
I've watched a lot of your stuff where you talk about, like, going against sometimes what your body tends to push. Your
body wants to cheat, right?
Yeah, so you want to go hard against your body. Just for example, like the chest, right? Keeping the shoulders back, which a lot of people don't. I always say people, like, your chest needs to be the highest point, create the arch.
Yep.
Squeeze the chest instead of pushing with your shoulders, triceps, everything else. Yep. Talk about that whole theory of...
So some people have amazing genetics, and some people have amazing structure. And I always liken it to, like, the high school athlete who's good at everything. And, like, you're like that. And to be honest, I'm like that. Like, we can go in the gym, we can do whatever, and we're going to grow. We're going to grow. But most people are not like that. And so, like, everyone's like, I got a weak chest and I got weak hamstrings. I'm like, okay, well, mechanically, you're probably just choosing the wrong exercises for you, and you're probably executing them like shit. Because you can build any muscle in your body. It's the same internal chemistry. Like, there's some considerations there, but the delts are growing, but the biceps are not. Well, guess what? It's probably just your inability to put tension through it. So let's figure that out first. And if you can direct tension there, and you can learn, the central motor command, the sort of computer in your brain says, hey, I need to send more electricity here. I need to send more signal here. Then you get better and better at creating more signal. And then the bicep responds. And like that's literally it. And your body is designed to preserve energy. So the body doesn't want to make things hard. It wants to make things easy. So when we mindlessly train, we just sling shit from point A to point B. The body's doing as little as it possibly can, not as much as it possibly can. Or it's my theory, and what I believe to be true, is that you should try to challenge the muscle, not just to complete reps. So it's still crazy to me that we count reps. I'm like, the body doesn't know reps, man. It doesn't know 8, doesn't know 6, doesn't know 10. It knows time and tension. So let's play with those domains.
Do you believe in reps?
I think at some level you have to, because
when we were in the gym the other day, were you counting reps?
No, man, no. People are people need guidelines.
programmed,
They need guidelines, right? If you're training, if I'm training with you, like I suspect maybe you're counting reps.
I don't,
I'm not.
but I always say 10 to 12 because
Just
it's how do I say it? It's
Just what we've been
it's
taught.
standard. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Right. Yeah.
You've been
Arnold
conditioned.
did it. Ronnie
Right.
Coleman did it. I don't know.
But if you think about it at its base, like the muscle doesn't know
Nope.
reps. It knows time and it knows total tension. So if I can maximize the tension of the muscle, like end to end pulling on two bones and make it stay there for a long time. And you obviously want to have some concentric and eccentric forces, but whether you're doing 1 or 3 or 12, I'm not sure that it makes a difference.
So you don't count.
No, I'm just trying to get as close as I can to like muscular failure. And then that's a whole different conversation. Like, how do you maximize that? Do you need to maximize that? I spend a lot of time trying to get myself as close to muscular failure as I can, which is completely governed by stability, right? So the more stable you can be, the closer you can get to muscular failure. So like playing games with like, how much can I possibly increase stability without fatigue? Because fatigue is a whole another level, right? Because fatigue is a systemic thing. Your brain is constantly sensing fatigue in the body. So even if my calf is fatiguing while I'm doing a chest press, that adds to the cumulative fatigue. So the way to remember it is like the total amount of sensation in the body is actually what makes you stop. So it's obviously it could be energy, but usually for most people, it's the total amount of systemic sensation. Your body goes, I can't tolerate any more sensation. I'm going to stop. We become really good at turning off that switch, but most people stop because of sensation.
Do you think as you learn this, because I mean, you had been training for how many years before you would 07, 08? What year did you start? What age?
98, so 10 years.
So you learned a lot even.
And
You
before
really didn't know that
2007,
much before you were pro.
Well, no. So I had a university degree in this stuff, ironically, but I said back then the only lever I had was effort. Like I just wanted to be the hardest working motherfucker anyone ever met. That was always my thing, and I did know mechanics, but it wasn't to the level that I studied later because I didn't have to. Right, I was growing. I was like, I'm making progress, and when it became like I have to do this, it was a need. Then I was like, I need to go on and understand this.
So you think like someone like me or Ronnie Coleman, like you heard of the term hyper responder?
Yeah, of course.
What would you call a hyper responder?
So
pretty much anyone that can do like just slinging, like you said, slinging weight.
No, I think it's a lower threshold for growth. So like a lower amount of overall stimulus needed to turn on those mTOR switches. So mTOR is this mammalian target of rapamycin, which is like we're turning this on with protein, we're turning this on with training. I suspect, and it's not just one thing, man. My theory goes like this. I think it's like a lower threshold for mTOR, less protein breakdown, better inflammatory genes, probably better mitochondrial genes, certainly great mechanics, like your muscle bellies are long. So that's one really big consideration. If you have short muscle bellies and long tendons, you're not building muscle. So like you have long, like Ronnie's, I remember looking at Ronnie's pecs. I'm like, look, it's like the size of a human. Like it's just giant. And like that, the muscle belly is just so big. All his muscle bellies are crazy, So if someone, you see these people have really short calves and long tendons, like that's not going to grow. That I believe is the only constraint that you can't overcome. You're not going to change short muscle bellies.
So do you think, when we had the magazines, people would put their, the guy with the best arms would put their routines in there, whatever else. Do you feel like people are almost like they would follow these routines and they weren't necessarily catered towards those type of bodies? I mean, they'll never grow.
Yeah. So the best example is early in my career, my biceps and my back wouldn't grow. I was doing 200 to 200 pound dumbbell rows, 750 to 800 pounds deadlifts, 400 pound bent rows for reps. I had no back. Like, well, how does that work? So what was I doing? Because my structure is so different. My structure is so big. All these exercises that were bilateral, two arms at the same time, didn't fit my body. So I'd pull and my elbows would come away from my body. So my rear delts got massive. My forearm flexors got massive, but my back, my lat never got engaged until I started doing things single arm, where I could actually allow my elbow to come past my body and wrap around toward the spine. So it was always this like, my elbow's kind of pushing away from my body. The lat never got contracted. So until Peter came along and said, hey dude, you're choosing the wrong exercise for your body. Try this. And I was like, I've never felt my back in my entire life.
If you were educated like this, how did you have the open mind? You have to have a different mindset to be able to do that, because it's hard to critique someone.
Totally.
I don't know what this guy's physique looked like.
He looked great, but he built my trust because he fixed. Man, I'd been
fixed the injury.
Yes, it blew my mind, and I knew how smart he was. And he wasn't. Man, the thing is, he didn't have. You know, most people come at it with an ego, like, "I'll do it my way. You're an idiot."
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. He's like, "Man, if you want me to help you, like, I'd love to show you some stuff." I was like, "Yeah, I'm down. Let's go." And he was jacked. He looked good. So I was like, "Yeah, I would love to hear it." I think prior to that knee injury, it would have been the same thing. It would have been like, "Nah, man, I like leave." And when I walked into his office, I was like, "Man, it's a true story." He goes, "Lay down on the table." He starts fucking with my feet. I go, "Hey, man, problem's up here in my knee." He goes, "Just let me do my thing." I go, "Okay." He fixes my feet, and all of a sudden my knee's fucking better. I was like, "What's going on here?" He goes, "Well, you know, your foot and your knee are connected." And I was like, "Yeah, but you know, I wasn't like putting two and two together." Fixes my subtalar joint. My subtalar joint was locked, which is like sort of a heel joint. Now my knee doesn't hurt. And he's like, "Yeah, this is all connected, and this does this." And I was like, "This guy's really smart."
Was he a manual therapist or what?
Yeah.
We don't just fight insurance companies, we train for it. If you want results, get a lawyer that puts in the work. 107. Do you trust a lawyer that doesn't train? 102. Or a lawyer that quits when it gets tough. Pacific West Injury Law. We're built to win.
Yeah. And so, I love people who are passionate about what they do. And this guy was so passionate and so smart. I was like, I just want to learn. Like, please, whatever I can. Even if it was one of those things where you learn as much as you can, you take a little bit, you discard the rest, which is probably what it was, you know. So many things, like you gain a little bit, you learn a little bit, you take a little bit, like that applies to me, that doesn't. Let's keep going. And I've had a lot of amazing mentors in my life. So it's not just one.
Yeah, you know, it reminds me, because I always talk about the tissue therapy, and this guy, Steve Murphy, that I worked with in Orange County. I did the 99 Olympia. Chris Cormier led me to this guy, and he said, you know, he was a neuromuscular therapist. And all that work I did, I would see him at 6 a.m. I was first client, because I wanted him. He'd drop that table to the lowest, and he'd get in, and he would put his elbow. There was no tools at the time. He would just use his touch, right?
Yep.
And man, it changed my body. Like, it made me go from, you know, second to last at the Olympia within 2 years, you know, arguably almost winning it against, you know, Coleman.
Do you know what? You probably don't know this. I saw you at the 99 Olympia here in Mandalay, yeah?
Yes.
And the first one I saw was 98. I saw Ronnie win. And then the next year I came here, and you got what? Like 15 16. Yeah. And I was like, that's your next Mr. Olympia.
Really?
You could see it. Yeah, you could see it. I was a kid. I was 18 years old, but I was like, that's your guy right there.
How did you get to Vegas during that?
My
that
dad.
young?
My dad.
Really?
Yeah. My dad and I
say a plane.
No.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
My dad and I didn't have a great relationship. Like we did, but it was he wasn't always around. And so 98, I just literally was flipping through a magazine. I saw the New York Olympia. I was like, "Hey, you want to go to this?" He goes, "Yeah." We drove 10 hours from Toronto. And then next year we flew to Vegas.
What was it like seeing Ronnie Coleman win that year? Did you?
He
didn't get the call-outs in the first.
What a lineup!
He got like late call-outs,
right?
In that.
Yeah, and then he kept moving up, and just what a lineup, man!
Did he look incredible?
It was
for that
ridiculous. Show? Yeah, but everyone was ridiculous.
Like, Taylor was good.
Lex was crazy. Kevin was great. Milos looks ridiculous.
Was in there too, right?
Yeah, man. What a lineup, man! Like every one of those.
Who was your favorite at the point back then? Do you remember? Know the guys that well?
Of course, yeah, of course. So you know, Lee was the first guy that I saw.
Priest.
Yeah, I was like, he you know, that tricep photo, you know, this one.
Yeah.
That was like in my gym, and I was like, that's nuts to me.
Well, he was really popular.
Really popular, yeah. Yeah, obviously, I was a Dorian fan. Flex Wheeler, I was a big Flex guy. Just like everyone, man. I just, you know, I admire anyone. I think the thing about myself is I don't necessarily admire people for the way they look. I learned to admire people for who they are. I'm like, I want to get to know these guys.
I love that. I never knew that you went to that show.
Yeah.
And then you came to the first one in Vegas. It was at Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, man. Oh, so here's a funny story. I was 160 pounds in 98 at the Olympia, and I was 230 when I came.
No way.
Next year. And so some guy's writing an article about me about the future mass monster of the sport. And I was like, you even saw me last year. I was this skinny twerp. Now I'm like, I put on a lot, and I was obsessed. Trained twice a day for 365 days, twice a day.
And you were in university at the time?
No, I was in high school.
Okay.
Yep.
Were you an athlete or just?
Yeah, I was being recruited to play D1 baseball, playing football, but quit everything. Just like train before school, train after school. Yeah. So I saw. Like, this is all I want to do. I was, you know, is it the best decision? I don't know, but like, it's all I want to do.
Did going to the Olympia that year make you want to be a professional bodybuilder?
That's the only thing I want to do. Like coming to Olympia, I didn't want to be a professional bodybuilder. I'd read the magazines, but I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'd like to do it. But coming in 98, dude, I can remember the fucking moment where I was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I mean, I knew that when I walked in Gold's Venice, I was in there. I always get that aura when I'm there, even though it's not anything like it used to be.
Yeah.
So when you went, there wasn't an expo really, was there?
It's very small.
Did you get to meet anyone like face to face?
Yeah, no one I met Ronnie. I met, who else did I meet? Johnny Moya. You remember Johnny
Yeah, I
Moya?
know him, yeah. He beat me at my 98 Night at Champion.
Did he?
Yeah.
What, 5?
He was like 4th and I was like 11th.
Yeah.
Tied with Milos.
I met
Don't say
Milos.
that out loud.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I met a bunch of the guys, man. But the funny thing is you have to wear suits back then, right? So these guys look like they were in fucking tents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's
great.
wild.
Ronnie wore like the big purple suits and the big different colors.
And I was like the kid who knew nothing, right? So I was like watching everybody, like watching when everybody eats. Out of the corner, I'm like, oh, I got to eat that food. I got to take this supplement. I was so impressed.
That's how we learn, though,
Totally.
in the gyms. And where were you training in Toronto at the time?
There was a place called Mac's Gym, M-A-C-K-S, Mac's. And the Mac was an 80-year-old Japanese man. I think he was 87, actually. And he was a welder, and he welded all the equipment. It was the most hardcore place in the city. It was it was the best. It's the reason I became the athlete I did was because of that place. Like big influence on me. And Mac, unfortunately, he was so old that people would take advantage. They wouldn't pay. So he was like selling lifetime memberships for $300. People would just come in like, oh, I have a lifetime membership, and they wouldn't. He just ended up going out of business. I think he went out of business when he was 90. Ended up like living on the street because his family's like, oh, we can't keeping the gym in business. So he literally lived in the gym. And he'd train 3 times a day. This 90-year-old man running across the gym. He was just a legend, man, legend of a human. And I wasn't in the place to buy the gym. I would have loved to, but I wasn't in the place. He ended up selling the equipment to some dude who fucking painted it. It was all like old, rusty, like truly welded by this old Japanese man. 220-pound dumbbells that he welded together. And some dude buys it all and fucking paints it white. I'm like, you idiot. Like like people would have paid, like Brian Moss in New York would have been like, that would have been his studio,
I was literally just going to ask you, were you able ever to get your hands on a couple pieces to put in your gym?
Oh.
Just for like.
I wish, man. Like the seated calf, man. My calves were fucking built on that thing. I had decent sized calves as a young athlete, but like they weren't big. I was obsessed. I literally cut out pictures of people's calves on the wall and I put it in front of my calf. I had 2 calf machines. I was seated in a donkey, and I did them every single day for 5 years. That's how I built my calves.
Donkey calf machine. I talk about
It's
that
the
all
best.
the time. Is that the best calf
event.
builder?
Yeah.
Everyone listening, I talk about this all the time.
I don't really see them that much.
Well, I mean, I just did
You
it at Gold's the other
you
day.
also don't see calves that much anymore.
So I went, yeah,
That's true.
I went and trained Sunday night at Gold's.
Yeah.
I went back and I do calves on chest day. So I always start because I prioritize my calf training because I had small calves too. And I told the kid there because he's like, oh, I don't see this. I said, this is the best building.
Well, the Icarian is great, but it's very light. Like
Yes,
you
it
do the whole
is.
stack
Yeah.
for 100
Well,
reps.
they used to have the way you could put the
the weights
plates on
on,
it,
yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
is there a better one that they built
And
now?
the one I had was Mac's fucking rusty old thing.
I don't remember what it was.
No, he made it himself.
Okay.
He literally made it.
What do you
himself.
have an MI40 over there? You have one?
Yeah, we have a shitty Arsenal one. It sucks. It's like sticky and crappy. We sort of bought it as a package with a bunch of other stuff, and I'm going to get rid of it. But
So any gym equipment company out there, if you have the best,
Yeah.
send it to Ben. He's at his gym.
yeah,
Or just now you're going to get like 10
Are you
companies.
are you an equipment nerd though? When you
Oh,
travel to
dude.
the gyms, did you walk around Gold's the other day and see, okay, what can I try?
So here's the funny thing, man. I don't know what you do now. Like I don't have programs anymore, and I was even like this when I was competing. I'd walk into a gym and I would literally pick out the best equipment. Like that's good, that's good, that's good. That's what I'm doing today. Like because you go into some gyms and you're like, there's shitty equipment. I'm like, I'm just going to find the best pieces. And sometimes free weights. Usually I'll do a barbell, a dumbbell, and then I'll pick the best machines they've got. And I'll do them for 6-8 sets each. I like to do a lot. Yeah, I'm such a nerd.
So when you were with the guys the other day training, were you doing any kind of coaching, or were you just training with those of your buddies?
So one guy was my head coach. He works
Okay.
for me. The other guy was just my media guy. Yeah, so we're just
So you guys are just nerding out on the equipment to try to see what you could try.
well, it's all the same equipment as when I was here.
Okay, well, I didn't know if they had changed it a little bit.
Any of
Because
this
they do have all the
I don't know, whatever that is in the front room.
what
Somebody got that for
is
free.
Gym 80.
Gym 80, yeah.
Yeah,
It's a brand.
I tried one Gym 80 row. I liked it actually, the cable row. But all that stuff in the front room, I'm guessing somebody got that as a gift because that shouldn't be in the front room of Gold's, man.
It's more. I think it's more for visual like
Right.
when you walk into
Get it.
them and Looks a lot different in there probably than you.
Yeah. Nobody uses it. It just sits there. And
When you came to Vegas and you were at the gym one that time, that Decatur gym where that was like I had the sign that said home of Jay Cutler.
yeah.
Was that a cool time for you to be able to see like?
Well, dude, I was such a fan of you, man. Like I like 99. I was like, like I was 18 years old. I was like, that's the next Mr. Olympia. So at that moment, I was like, I'm a massive Jay fan, and to come and I got introduced to you through Val and Bob.
Yeah. And
to come meet you was like a huge honor, man. It was.
But I came in the gym and you were there.
Oh yeah, I was just finishing my workout, coming out. Yeah. I remember. Yeah, our gym was awesome. Like great equipment. And just honestly, for me, the fact that I knew you were training there, I was like, well, whatever this equipment is, I have to train on it because this is where Jay trains. Yeah.
You know, coming from Canada, like the bodybuilders were always, I felt like, had their backs against the wall.
Yeah.
Like there was no one that ever really could break through until now. Like,
and nobody wanted to support them. So yeah, it's funny because Evan and I came in at the same time, and I had no contracts, 0, and Evan had like fucking 10.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if I just had a little bit of cash, like I'm working full-time jobs. And like if I had a little bit of support, maybe I could have done a little better, or at least not been so stressed. Yeah, I remember like, and I don't ever want to like shit on Evan, but like we came in at the same time, and I was like, oh, I can beat him. But just working, like personal training.
So what were you doing? What were you doing before you really got to the point where you're at now? Like as far as how did you migrate to the USA? Like what was the decision to go to Tampa? And were you living? You lived somewhere else though, right?
I was living in Venice. I was living down here
for how long?
3 years. Yep, 2.5, 3 years.
How did you put up with Venice, man?
I'm a lone wolf, man. I had a place on the beach. I walked to the gym. I walked home. And I trained twice a day, and that's all I did.
What years was that?
2010, 11, beginning of 12.
Okay.
Yep. I just loved it, man. I'm I don't know.
What was it like training around that area though during that time?
For me, it was awesome. I worked with Charles once in a while. Tex was there a lot.
Did Charles teach a lot of stuff? I mean,
I work with Charles, man, because I didn't find a training partner who I thought was like I really see the value in a training partner. And Charles is a really great spotter, man. I don't know that he taught me anything significant. Like I'm sure something,
because he tend to do unorthodox exercises a lot with makeshift.
Usually, I would just be like, "Hey, this is what I'm doing today." I just loved having a spot, man, because like it just gets so much more out of it. Someone who knows what they're doing. So Charles and I were always great for that. Like worked with him for probably 18 months, every day.
And how many training partners you burned through?
Oh man, a lot. Probably I was doing one for the first hour, one for the second hour for a lot of my early career. That was the best. Change your T-shirt.
The original gym bully.
So you're the first one. I think you might be one of the first ones on here that talked about twice a day training.
Yeah.
Explain to me why.
Charles Poliquin actually probably put me into it.
That was Milos's mentor too, by the way.
Was it?
Right?
Yeah. Charles just believed, first of all, my appetite was obscene. So I have a fat guy appetite. So like for me to train twice a day just means I could not have to constrict my eating. So that was good for me. And I just liked high volume. High volume seemed to work for me. So I did that. And then when I started to go to twice a day, the morning was really strength focused. Afternoon was hypertrophy focused. And that just worked. And even when I was doing the same body part, that just worked. And obviously I was taking gear. But I wouldn't recommend that for people who are natural. Although I think it works. You just got to I think it actually does work extremely well for ectomorphs if you're willing to really decrease your volume and really drive your intensity up. But yeah, that was where that came from for me. When I started doing it, I just grew, man. Like I just couldn't stop growing. I was like, well, obviously it's working. And again, I'm happy to share my gear cycles, but it was, it wasn't crazy, but it was like enough to make sure I wasn't breaking down.
You talked about the nutrition though. How many meals a day would you eat? When people say calories, it's not about calories necessarily, right? It's just more.
I think it is about calories, man. At that point, my off season was probably 7,000, probably same as you. Yeah, 6,500, 7,000, as clean as I could. And my digestion wasn't always great, man. Like if I would eat a lot, I would get super bloated, especially if I ever took GH. My body, I would say, didn't respond well to GH. Like I would feel amazing. My muscles would feel amazing. Like always bloated. So I'd put on 10, 12 pounds of water from GH. I always felt bloated. So I hated it.
Did you only use it really for the shows?
Really
though?
for the shows. Yeah. 6 I use, kept it relative. Off season with 2-3 I use, and then in season 6 I use for maybe 8 weeks. So I see GH as more of an anti-catabolic than I do as an anabolic agent. So like when I'm in a caloric deficit, it's a really useful tool to prevent breakdown, improve sleep. I think guys are using it as an anabolic, and I'm not sure that that's the right way to think about it.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys with protocols, they get nervous about, what if I don't?
Totally. Yeah.
Especially at the level we're at.
You hear stories like, oh, this guy's using 18, this guy's using 36.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's fucking true, but that's what you hear. It's like, oh, I'm going to be at a disadvantage. And that went through my head a lot. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Like, there was a time when it was very obvious to me that the good sources of gear were drying up. You know, like the late 90s, early 2000s are like, oh, we can get shit from the doctor. This is awesome. And all of a sudden, in the vet. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, now everything's from someone's bathtub. And you're like, well, I'm not putting that in my body. So my cycles went from like having some useful compounds to having like a really small number of compounds. And you're like, well, I got to make the most of it because I'm not using underground stuff unless I, like really trust the source. Yeah. But even then it was very hard.
Yeah. I think that, especially being Mr. Olympia, you're like, okay, I can't miss a beat here.
Totally.
So every week there was something else that like, oh, so-and-so tried this or, and it's like, man, like,
right.
I'm the best in the world.
My competition's going to come and take this.
Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
And you kind of worry about that. And I always said that I feel my conditioning suffered because I really didn't know what worked, if that makes sense.
Totally, yeah.
And as I got bigger, the food went up, so it was harder to land proper.
Right.
And it was so much, like you said, I mean, you might have, like, okay, I took GH and I gained water. I mean, we all did.
Right.
And, we'll just lose the water at the end. But
right.
Sometimes it's hard to separate losing the water from the muscle versus.
Yep. Yeah. And it was one of the drivers for my retiring is like, I don't want to play this game. It feels like whoever has the best chemist is going to win. I'm like, I just want to play.
When was the last show? What year was the last show?
So I retired officially in 2016, but like actually 2012, I was checked out, man. Because I had my son in 2012, my daughter in 2013.
Change your life, right?
It's over, man. Like there's no more reason to do this.
And at that point, did you envision going on to this side now where it's an educational process, a master?
No, not at all. All I knew, I built this beautiful gym in Tampa and spent crazy amounts of money, built this gym, and I'm sitting in the gym by myself, looking at the wall and going, why am I here? Like, I'd rather be home with my kids. I'd rather be home playing with them on the floor and making their breakfast. And, I'm like, why am I here? So I'm like, oh, what are you going to do now? So 18 months after I retired, 18 months, I went like really deep into meditation. So I would meditate for at least an hour a day, sometimes a lot longer. I used some psychedelics, and like it was just this new like creation of a new person. It was, or not only was a creation of a new person, it was more of a discovery of a new person. Because I think bodybuilding was something that I did to become the man that I needed to become, and then to discover who I am was through like going internal, right? So bodybuilding is this external pursuit of like I want to look out on the outside. I want people to think I'm important. I want to be significant. I want to accomplish things. And then the internal pursuit, I always say turn the spotlight inside and go like, well, who are you on the inside? And who are you authentically? And what does it look like to live life in alignment with who you really believe you are on the inside? And that just took years of meditation for me and some psychedelic assistance. And for about 18 months, I went pretty hard, right, every day. Not psychedelics every day, but meditation every day. And could still continue to meditate very frequently, but that was a really big shift for me.
What exactly is meditation though for you?
So
is it the same for everyone? Or?
No. So meditation, the easiest way to understand meditation, in the way I would explain it to the listener is, we have the ability to be present in the moment. So we generally spend our time in our head. We're thinking what I have to do later, what I didn't do before, and we ruminate. And so all meditation is presence. And so what does presence mean? It means in this moment, all of us have the ability to be present in each of our 5 senses. So I'm hearing something, I'm feeling something, I'm seeing something, I'm smelling something, I'm tasting something. And so if I just sit and I become acutely aware of all or 1 or 2 of my senses, what am I really feeling in this moment? So I can feel the cold on my back, and I can feel the pressure of my arms against the table, and I can feel my butt against the chair, and my feet against the floor, and I can feel the vibration of my eardrums of the wind in the background of the room. And so I just become acutely aware of my present moment. And you start to become familiar with your body. You start to become familiar with the emotions. You start to become familiar with the heartbeat. And you're just being super present. And do that often enough, and you can take these interesting journeys to like understand who you are on the inside, and your heart will start to speak to you, and you're not listening to the voices of the world anymore. You're not listening to the influence of social media. You're not listening to the influence of your parents. You're listening to the voice inside your heart. And so for me, like calming the mind and being present in the body was what meditation was. And so every time I would, one of the earliest mentors I had was Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he said, we should live in the space between our thoughts. That's what meditation is. So, and the better you get at it, the more you can create greater space between the thoughts. So you live in that dead space or that white space. And so you can be peaceful, because between the thoughts is peace. And I think that's really what meditation was.
So is that why like your aura is like a more relaxed?
Yeah, totally.
Like you
I'm in control
you tend
of it.
to you're very inviting to listen. That's what I noticed about your demeanor. Like when I see you, it's like, hey, how are you? And I can tell you're processing, like you're feeling the aura. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that sound accurate? Or do you feel situations like
it's all
you're surrounded?
I would say it's consciousness, right?
What's it feel like when you walk around like the Fit Expo and it's madness around you?
You can turn it off.
Did you turn it off and just enjoy the things that you visually could see or hear?
Yeah, and you could turn it off with people, because like certain people, you're like, I don't want to have anything to do with that. You can just like, I'm just going to go ahead and go this way.
I need to ask you a question though. Bodybuilding. We all have, we wore this gorilla suit.
Yeah.
You were massive from what age? I mean, you just talked about 230, like 160 to 230 at 18.
Yeah.
There was a time where you're like, okay, switches off. What your body transforms into lean, muscular guy, but nothing like I'm a shadow of what I was, right? These kids still come up and say, "You're huge." I'm sure you still get it all the time. You're huge. Right. I know you still got legs, really big legs, right? You can't get rid of those.
I just like to train them.
You still train them pretty hard? Yeah, okay.
I just want to be an athlete.
I think you just want to torture people is what you
I do, yeah. I just don't like to lose. I just don't like to lose.
I said he's the original gym.
So you're still competitive in that
of course.
In the gym, and
I want to be an athlete now. So me being big doesn't serve me, right? I like to play tennis, I like to play golf, I like to play baseball.
You said you're 44.
Yeah. My goal is to be an athlete when I'm 80, because I want to be able to play with my grandkids.
So you do any sports?
Everything, everything, man. I play everything, literally everything. I ride my bike, I play golf, I play tennis, I play paddle, I play everything.
I envy him.
Yeah.
I want to get him to.
We need an
I just want to put a camera on him though. Yeah. To see him do it.
We need a what?
I need outlets.
Yeah. Man, you know the first place to start, put a trampoline in your backyard. Because it's the most it's polar opposite to what bodybuilding is.
Like you have a large
trampoline,
right? Not one of these. I know some people have size on.
I want to say this. We went to a trampoline park and I saw you go face.
Yeah. So the reason is, when bodybuilding, and this is like a neurological reality. So in bodybuilding, we're creating what's called top-down motor control. Brain tell muscles what to do. When you jump on a trampoline, it's reflexive. Body tell brain what's going on. So it's like if I throw you a ball, it's a reflex. When you jump on a trampoline, it's reflexive. So it's these lower motor neurons telling the upper motor neurons what to do. So it's literally the exact opposites. And when bodybuilding, we're creating rigidity. And in sport, we're creating dynamicness. So the trampoline is the ultimate expression of dynamicness. And it's hard, but unbelievably fun. So I would say throw it.
Can you flip on a trampoline or you don't try?
Yeah, no, I can.
Oh, okay.
I can, yeah.
What about these kids that do these crazy?
My daughter.
They like that on the edge of the building.
Oh, it's nuts. Like parkour. Those guys are crazy, man. Yeah,
there was a kid doing. Remember that when we went to the park and the kid was going up to the top and touching, jumping on.
Right.
Like it was crazy.
That all scares the shit out of me because I had a transplant in my left eye, so I don't have depth perception.
Okay.
So the littlest things.
Transplant meaning it's not your eye?
The cornea, the whole front of my eye is transplanted.
Wow.
So
amazing.
I don't have depth perception.
Right.
So when I see people do that, I'm like, I just get like this
totally
horrible fear because
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to fall or not. So it's tough seeing.
That's not something you'd be doing in Canada if you lived in Canada right now, though, right?
What, the parkour because it's cold?
No, yeah, even inside, indoor.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
We need to take you to the trampoline park again. Except this time we got to film it.
Jay and I are going. That's gonna be our next podcast. Just put microphones on at the.
You know, I think we needed. I had a good idea. We need to just start filming a new series of you just trying stuff.
I mean, this is
and he's going to do it.
He is someone that pushes to step out of your comfort zone to do all.
Well, why not? So as long as you're not. So this is also how I train, right? So my goal of training now is not to be big. My goal of training is to make sure I don't hurt myself when I go do athletics. So I want to be strong in every position I could ever find myself in. So that means my training needs to be not linear all the time. Bodybuilding is so linear. It's so sagittal plane, like everything's front to back. So a lot of stuff I do now is very different. Like I need to train rotation. I need to train positions of weakness. So every position in my body, ideally, is something I'm comfortable in. I'm strong in. I feel good there. I have great mobility. I have great strength. Because like my daughter's a beast of an athlete, man. So is my son. I'm like, Dad, we're playing tag today. I'm like, all right, here we go. Like these kids are sprinting full out. I'm like, I got to keep up. I'm 44. I'm like, I got to keep my groin and my hamstrings as long as I can. So yeah, it's just keeping my body as healthy as I can.
He likes to work against his fears.
Yeah, of course.
He said fear is something. If he sees fear or something, he's like, okay, I got to chase after it, right?
To conquer.
Yeah. I think my daughter and I talked about this tonight, actually. She's afraid of sharks. And I was like, I think that's a fear you can hang on to. Like, well, really, because you're like, well, yeah, like snakes. You're like, well, I could go and overcome the fear of snakes if I really wanted to. But I'm like, is it gonna change my life and make it better if I overcome my fear of sharks or snakes? Like, probably not.
You run into a shark every day.
Yeah, like, yeah, no. But I mean, if you're afraid of like speaking in public or like whatever, walking in, I don't know, like, like the typical fears. Like, that's normal. Like we have to fix that. Because that'll hurt you, right? That'll constrain you. And I was like, I don't like anything that's going to prevent me from doing something I want to do. So yeah, I like to
talk about this. Talk about mentorship, because you mentioned several people that were mentors to you. Yeah. How many? Like, are there different sectors of your life that you had mentorship for?
So intentionally, Jay. So intentionally. So, I sat down one day, and this is probably after the fact, but the story's worth sharing. And my daughter and I, when she was very young, she was probably 4, we had a book. On the left side, it said, daughter would write, and the right side, dad would write. And the first one you open up to is, who are your best friends and why do you love them? And so I was like, interesting. So she wrote down like, oh, this girl because she plays with me, and this girl because she's funny and whatever. And so I write down these 8 people, and I feel like collected people in my life that I aspire to be like in specific areas. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And then so I look back on my life previous to that, and I had literally like either took jobs or took mentorships, right? Hire someone for a mentorship or hire someone to coach me to allow me to upgrade my life in a specific domain where I felt inadequate. And I didn't do it on purpose. I just sort of did it, but I wasn't intentional about going, oh, I want to do this person to help me be a better learner, and this person to be a better mover, and this person to be a better dad. Like I just did it. And I was like, oh, this person seems really interesting to me. So I think I was drawn to people who were doing whatever they did really well. And when I found someone who's doing something really well, I was like, I need to learn that. Like there's something to be learned there.
I know, but how do you learn though is the question. Like, do you pay that much attention to your, like, is it social media or is it like word of mouth? Is it interaction?
I meet people and I know. I'm like, there's something about this person that I need to learn. Like Hermosi is a good example. Hermosi's taught me so much about business. And I was like, yeah, this guy's got his shit together. So like, I'll pay whatever. Let's go do some work together. And like, I'm lucky to call him a friend and train together. And
because he's a workout fanatic, right? I mean, he loves training. So do you try to coach him on like, this is how to do an exercise?
Yeah, it's like we've done.
Like, does he want it? Like, does someone like that, like that's a thriving, successful business guy, entrepreneur, running mentorships, courses, whatever? Does he have a goal to build his body?
Oh, he's just a psychopath like us, man. He loves to work really
training.
Fucking hard. It's like I just want to. He just wants to be good at everything.
Like back and legs were like my hardest training body parts, and those are my favorites. Like I hated arms because it was like boring to me. It's like,
dude, same shit. It was always on Saturday, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. Do deadlifts instead.
Because I love the challenges, right? We have that all
funny, yeah, totally.
I want to go back to the training twice a day because we've talked about it a ton. Why do you think guys nowadays it's not even in the deck at all,
and
where it used to always be?
Totally. How often do you hear guys going, "Oh, I think I'm overtraining"? I'm like, it's one of my like principles. I'm like, you're not overtraining. I promise. Like you're just not. Like, I'm natural. I got to decrease my volume. I'm like, no, you're not, man. And if you're training hard, and you feel like you're not recovering, it's probably not a training problem. It's probably a recovery problem. Like your eating is incorrect, or your sleep is incorrect, or your supplementation is incorrect. So it's always two sides of the equation, right? There's the output and there's the recovery. So like, and I'll say this, after having studied genetics now quite a bit, there's really significant genetic differences that every bodybuilder should know if you want to understand how to train. So for example, I won't give you specific genes, but there's like specific genes that can tell me how long it'll take you to recover between workouts. So I can look at your genetics and go, oh, you need to train lower volume.
Like blood work.
No, you have to do like a genes test. But there's, I think it's called the ACTN gene, that is basically coding for fast and slow twitch. And people who have two of these copies, homozygous, will take exponentially longer to recover from workouts. These are the type of people who train and hate working out because they're so sore for so long, versus people who have the opposite of that. Like they can train high volume, high intensity, and train again 3 days later. So if you see that gene, then you may have to adjust. There's a 3 or 4 different genes.
That gene.
You don't get sore, or you get really sore?
I can go.
I'd love to see your genetics. I'm the same.
26.
Have you done your genetics?
No.
Let's run it.
I wouldn't even know how to do it. Like
I'll send you a kit.
I feel pretty dumb right now because I don't know anything about all this stuff.
I'll send you a kit. So here's the thing we see. Like it's interesting.
What do you think I'm going to be?
Cray.
Well, you're certainly fast twitch. You probably have some predisposition to eating high amounts of food.
Yes.
You probably have good
I
inflammatory
died on
genes.
1,000 grams of carbs. So.
Right. You probably have good inflammatory genes. I have shitty inflammatory genes. So, and like
I have an ironclad stomach. Like I can eat anything. I don't like.
And there's genes
talk
for
about
that.
bloating. I don't ever get.
Yeah, there's genes for that. There's people who have like gut inflammation genes. And so like my daughter's got this gut inflammation gene. If she eats a little bit of dairy, she's got gas. Sorry to throw her under the bus. But like if she just doesn't eat it, she's good. But like my son can eat whatever. My daughter, she eats a little bit. She's a disaster. You can see it in their genes. It's really interesting, man. Genes. I started studying genes.
How long ago? 8
years ago. But like it was kind of useless because there's some research, but not huge amounts. But in the last 2 years, it's just completely.
You offer that?
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the coaching we do now is what I call precision performance. So like if I can look at your genes and say, hey man, your inflammatory genes are terrible. You have obesity genes. You have fast twitch muscle fibers. Like I can target so much more specific stuff in your training, nutrition, supplements. Like it's just
so how many? So to your training, to this, what you're talking about, how many positions of the are there in the whole thing? So you're doing
genetics,
genes. You're doing training.
Yeah.
Nutrition. What else?
So it all starts off with
sleep.
So
breathing.
All of it. So it all starts off with what we call a 7-part diagnostic. So we start with genetics, blood, urine, stool, and then sleep, stress, and HRV. So there's like 5 parts there. On the other side of that, we do the physical assessment, which is like joint by joint analysis, muscle by muscle analysis. So like what can your joints do? Because some people have joint dysfunction. So obviously we don't want to give you certain exercises if your joints are broken. And the muscle by muscle analysis basically says, well, where are your strengths, where are your weaknesses? So it allows us to analyze like, hey, you need more training here. You need to maybe improve your execution there. And we design programs like that. So that's, and genetics just allows us to be more accurate with if we run your genes, I can tell you exactly what supplements you need. And here's the truth. You're going to know. So me, for example, I'm severely deficient in riboflavin. Like who's even heard of riboflavin? I take riboflavin. It's like somebody turned the lights on in my brain. If I don't take it for 3 weeks, my brain's like, I can't even pull sentences out. But who would ever know that without running your genes?
And so how long, do you suggest, you work with people? Like, obviously you set up this program.
Yeah.
You give them the exercises. You might, maybe some, face-to-face on
totally. So we either do 6 or 12 months. Everyone does 6 or 12 months. My average client's been with me for 4 years, but
it's a continuous thing now.
Yeah, the minimum thing is 6 to 12 months. But people just don't want to leave. And so what happens is we sort of optimize what we call the protocol or the blueprint for your body. But then people are getting so much more than that because a lot of our coaching expands beyond the body, right? It's like talking about, it's how can you be the best version of yourself? Because what you know is your training made you so mentally strong. It made you such a great communicator. It made you so confident, but people don't have that. They don't make that connection. So once we start building those attributes in people, they're like, man, my relationship's better. my work is better. My business is making more money. I've had four guys coming up on a fifth exit their business in the last 3.5 years for like 9-figure exits in my coaching. And I'm like, well, how does that happen? Well, they're just becoming more effective, less influenced by stress. And again, I'm not saying I caused it. They're obviously super successful guys, but
if you would have had that when you were started competing, would it have made you a better bodybuilder? If you had a coach go through all this stuff with your whole life?
I think I would have had to suffer less. Yeah, I think I overdid a lot. I think I probably made a lot of mistakes. Yeah, I think I made a lot of mistakes. But it's also who made me who I am. So like the struggles and the challenges has made me who I am. So if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have been the guy who's thinking about everything, the guy who's turning over every leaf, you know. So I'm very grateful for my struggles. And like, why not? So the guys who I work with aren't aspiring to be bodybuilders. Yep. They're aspiring to be businessmen. They're aspiring to be dads. They're aspiring to be, they have a mission, right? Their mission outside of the body. The body is just the vehicle, right? So I don't work with bodybuilders anymore, right? So it's.
Would you? Or you think that they wouldn't follow protocol?
I don't want to judge, man. Like, of course, if it was the right person who.
You probably wouldn't think they would align, right?
Well, so here's the thing. You know, Derek came to me in 2018, and he's 17 weeks from the Olympia, and he goes, "Hey, man, I want you to train me." And I'm like, "No." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "No, man. I'm like, I don't want to train you." He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "If I'm going to train you, you're going to do exactly what I say." He goes, "Okay," and he fucking did. He looked great, except I didn't do his nutrition. Someone else fucked up his nutrition. So his training he looked crazy. But I was just like, it's got to be on my terms. Otherwise, I don't want to be involved. Because, you know, it's like, I'll do this, but I won't do this. And I'm like, no, man, like, I'm not interested. Yeah. So
if you're putting your name on it,
yeah.
you want to make sure it's done right.
Yeah.
But he puts his heart and soul because he's living vicariously through him in a sense. That's high for him, you know?
Yeah. I think it's like,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yes, I would help a bodybuilder if they wanted to go all in, but it's also a big lift, you know. It's a lot of time, man. It's a lot of, like, when people hire me, I'm like, I'm in charge of all of their internal performance metrics, right? I take personal responsibility and how you feel and how your mind's working and how your energy is. Like, you're like, hey man, should I be taking this supplement? I'm like, let me do some research. I'll run it through your system. Let's see if it works. So this is a lot of, it's a heavy lift, man. It's not like it's like these, you know, I'm hanging to write your program and send you underway. It's not like that. It's
very involved.
Yeah, super involved. So like, I don't want to work with people who are, you know, hard to work with, I guess. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. We should put you on this.
I know I have a lot of faults.
Faults is great. But the thing is,
structure is like, time is the most valuable asset to me right now, because I feel like I don't know what's going to come about my days, right? Especially when you travel, you know how it is.
Totally.
Like, I'm going to get there at 8:00. Flight gets delayed.
Right.
Meals off,
sure.
Training. I was going to go to the gym and train.
But is your blood optimized? Like, do you have somebody doing your cholesterol markers? And
I get blood work done, but I don't monitor it. Like, know exactly what I need.
Let's do that. And like, you know, one of the things that started this is like bodybuilders fucking passing left and right. I'm like, how do we protect these guys? Like, it's possible.
But I think it's everyone, Ben.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that never got into bodybuilding. I'm 52, right? I mean, it's just age variance, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can.
I mean, listen, we know that sometimes it's kamikaze thought processes with this stuff, right? And, can't happen to me, but we definitely push the envelope. Anyone that's going to the gym and pushing their body weight up and eating the amounts of food you talked about, it's ungodly amounts of food.
Sure.
Do you remember that person when you were eating like that?
Yeah, it was usually some version of personal disdain. Like, I didn't really like myself.
Were you happy? Yeah, you weren't happy.
No.
But this is before your children and all. And
I wasn't happy. I just knew I was on a mission, man. I was just going to do it. I wasn't happy. But I also didn't have any thoughts of stopping. So you got, I don't know if you guys believe in spirituality, but God. So I'll tell you a quick story. So I'm 2011. I'm getting ready for FIBO. And I get a call about like, hey man, we want to bring you over to FIBO. We want you to compete. We also want you to appear at the booth. Cool. Like, hey, we're going to pay you this and you get to bring a friend. And I was like, okay, cool. So seeing this girl at the time, just started dating her. I was like, hey, I got a free trip to Germany. You know, come and jump on a train, go over to Paris. And my grandfather was from Paris. My grandfather was like my dad. So I went to go visit the place where he came from. He passed. So I went to go visit him. So go to compete in FIBO. I'm on the biggest cycle of my life, actually, because I just finished the Arnold. And I jump on the train, go over to Paris. I'm drinking cognac and smoking cigars because my grandfather's a cognac and cigar guy. So I was like celebrating his life. And come back with a baby. And like, you know, got pregnant with this girl in Paris. And all of a sudden you're like, life changes. You know, life just sort of flipped from being all in on myself and nothing else mattering to being the son. And the reason I share the story is because, like, I truly believe that, you know, my grandfather, it was meant to be, man. He came to save my life because I was so all in. Like, I didn't want to do anything else.
Can I ask you, was a weight lifted off your shoulder when that happened to you, as far as like, because you could now have a good reason to exit from bodybuilding, and that mindset of like, I have to win and conquer. And
I don't see it as a weight. If looking back, and it was a weightlifting off. But when I was in bodybuilding, I'm sure you were the same. Maybe not. I never felt like I wanted to stop. Like, I didn't feel like it was heavy. It's all I wanted to do. Looking back at it, I'm like, man, I was really unhappy. I wasn't myself. Leaving bodybuilding allowed me to become myself. But to become a bodybuilder, I had to be a very specific way. But I didn't have any.
I came across that, and this is the first time I've ever mentioned this. When Phil Heath beat me in 2011, you know, I tore my biceps 2 weeks out.
Yep.
And Phil won. And I smiled. You can go back and watch.
Yeah, I remember. I was there, man. I remember that shit.
And I said,
I was sitting beside Dorian.
Finally.
Yeah.
It's over. Because I knew I'd never be able to beat Phil Heath again. I knew, like, after 2010, he was close, right? Questionable. People thought he could have won. I was like, it's fucking over. I mean, it came back in 13, right? Shadow myself. But I was like,
right.
Because now I'm like, okay, I can go live my life and do the things I want to do and focus on my business.
No more pressure.
Start living, and I can eat a turkey sandwich when I want. I mean, this is just throwing things out that came across my mind at that moment.
Right.
Like, I don't have to do this again next year.
Right.
That's how I felt. Because, you know, when people think you're on top and you're indestructible and your mindset, because everyone thought, oh, Jay's so robotic. He's just, he's a machine. But I was human too, man. Like,
sure.
I wanted a reason to exit at the time.
Yeah. How's your life changed since?
You know, it's
quality of life.
It's. I don't know who that person was. I don't know who this ever was. I mean, I don't ever I can't push myself to that dark place again. I call it a dark place because those last few weeks.
Yeah, of course.
There's no world. You know, I always say I'd hang up on people when they call. Truly, I just didn't care, because when you're so locked in, you have so much tunnel vision. And I think anyone that's succeeding at a specific goal would tell you the same thing. There's just no world.
Right.
You know that place because you went there a million times. You were as intense as I was, but I just thought win. I'd finish the Olympia and sit at dinner and say, okay, how'd I look? Okay, I got to look better for next year. There was no off switch.
Right.
And to this day now, I'm able, when I asked about the meditation, these are questions I'm asking you because I'm like, damn, he's right. Like, I have moments of, like, I say, my meditation in the morning is get up and doing fasted cardio. And that doesn't make sense to people, but there's no phone. Totally. It's a time where I can actually live in the moment.
Yep. Be present.
And there's not, the phones are, and it's quiet. There's no one around. It's just me, and I'm not counting the minutes.
Right.
I'm not watching the speed. I'm not, like, it's like I'm just looking at the wall, and I'm like not thinking anything.
To get to the level you got to, you could not be meditating. Like, your workouts became meditative, right? You had to be so present that I guarantee there's countless times, thousands, if not millions of times when you're in the gym and time stopped because you're so present. You didn't hear the music. You didn't know there was somebody there. You didn't know where you were. You're just like, I'm just going into this specific present moment. You're meditating, right?
The spiritual message that this is what I'm going to take from this podcast is literally this. You're probably feeling the same way, right? That's what people need.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
And you're talking about, like, I to do the blood and the, training, but I feel like that's your message is like, okay, we're going to figure out how to take your brain and
Right.
separate all the noise and make you human again, instead of like we're just told so many.
You know what I was
directions.
thinking of when you were talking about the meditating? I remember times in my life when you would train and you get in a certain position and you grab the bar and you feel the bar and you feel the weight and you feel yourself breathe out. And as the weight goes down, you
know
hear
what
your
it is.
breath out as the weight goes up.
Yep.
And I never thought of it until right now. You're meditating as that weight's
Correct.
moving. You feel every breath. You feel your heart pump.
You
feel
have to,
everything.
because it's so heavy. You can't
Yes.
have presence anywhere.
Because if you thought about it, like if this fell, it could kill you.
Yep. If when you're squatting, like you can't think about your girlfriend, your wife, your fucking.
So tell me, I watched a video of you squatting 675 for three reps.
That was later in the career, man. I was weak. I squatted seven. I squatted 750 pretty regularly early on.
How many plates is that aside?
7.5, almost 8. So speaking on the spiritual stuff, I think you guys are nailing it. So, I do a retreat every year in Costa Rica called the Warrior and the Monk. And so what we do is 5 days of training in this beautiful gym in Costa Rica. And then we go and do 4 days in the jungle, and we do lots of meditation. We do lots of hiking to these beautiful waterfalls. We do some plant medicine. We do some no, we don't.
I was waiting for that.
He's dying to do
I
it.
need to one.
I've done IFBB.
I need to
but not in these retreats because I is intense, and so what I don't want to turn to is a babysitter. But we do a lot of like deep introspective work. So we start with the warrior, and we just go like I think what I believe is men need to develop both facets of themselves. It's the ability to be what we'll say is the warrior. Like I want to be able to fight, run, defend myself, provide and protect my family. And I want to be able to be the eye or the calm in the storm, right? So everything around me is crazy, but I want to be calm. I think we develop that in men in these retreats, and it's unbelievably popular. And I think everyone's like, why don't you do it more? I'm like, it's a really heavy lift to do it. It's really emotionally heavy because I'm helping all these guys through their stuff. I love it, but it's a lot. And it sounds like you guys that's exactly what you would love.
I just see like your energy is so good.
Right.
I can imagine how taxing this event must be for you because you're like, okay, putting effort and not to yourself, right?
Right. Yeah. And I love it. I take so much pride in standing with every man and being like, I see where you are. And I know what the next step is.
It's once a year you do it?
Once a year.
When do you usually do it?
December.
And how long is it?
It's 9 days usually.
And why'd you choose Costa Rica?
It's special to me, man. Here's a funny story. I was 15 years old, started dating this girl, my first ever like long-term high school girlfriend. And her family I grew up relatively poor, and her family is what I would have said is wealthy. And they would go on 2 weeks vacation every year. I'm like, how the fuck's your family for 2 weeks vacation?
Yeah.
I'd never been on vacation in my life. And so she did 1 year, she's like, I'm going to Costa Rica. And I was like, I'm like, what is Costa Rica like? There's no internet. So she opens up a book, a magazine. And I was like, oh, I'm going to live there when I'm 40 and I'm going to be a shaman. I don't know what the fuck a shaman was. I was 15 years old. I said, I'm going to live there when I'm 40 and be a shaman. She's like, what? I was like, I don't know why, but I know that I am. And she's like, oh, like, I don't know where it came from. But so and then when I'm 40, I spent the better part of 6 months down in Costa Rica, not being a shaman. But, it has a spiritual connection for me, man. I spend time in a very specific place, 2 specific places that are, there's something magical there.
I never even heard of shaman. Like when I would,
Me either. I didn't know what it was.
40 something.
I didn't know what it was. I just said it.
I know, but what do you mean you said it?
I was like, I'm going to live there. I'm going to be a shaman. I didn't know what the fuck it was. I didn't know what a shaman was.
How'd you know the term?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I didn't even do drugs. I knew plant medicine. I didn't know what plant medicine was. I just knew I was going to be a shaman. That's what I
Is that like reincarnation type?
I don't know.
Something?
Man. I'm not sure. I don't know, man.
You can become a shaman.
I'm not going to become a shaman.
But he's
Hey, you
now
never know.
he's down there doing his thing. I mean,
Yeah.
that must have been really like third world then.
Yeah, it was just trees. Yeah.
Because now it's like
Yeah, that's really
more
come up.
essentially.
Literally, but the photo she showed me was trees, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to live there. I'm like, how the fuck would I know that? I was 15 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So when you go, I'd love to invite you anytime. I'd love to invite you guys down. It's a magical place. Certain places, like, it's certain parts still third world country, and certain places, like, there's an energy that's undeniable, and I can't tell you what it is. You'll get there, you'll be like, I get it.
How much do you travel now?
As little as possible.
But this was a big journey for you out here. I mean, you've been out here for a minute on the West Coast.
5 days, 6 days. It's not too long.
Did you circle around Venice when you were there to see your old spot, like to see anything? Go drive by your old place where you stayed?
Yeah. Went for a walk. I went
You
for
did?
a walk with Huberman, and we walked down by the place. Yeah. Yeah, man. I still have so much appreciation for that place. Because, think of the, you probably have a similar thought, whereas like I was the 17-year-old kid watching the 16-year-old kid going, fuck. And then when I accomplished it, I was like, oh. So it still feels important in my life,
It's good you haven't forgotten.
Do you follow the current bodybuilding, or are you kind of just taking a step back from it?
You want the real answer?
Of course.
Yeah, zero.
Okay.
I have no.
No, it's okay. I mean, it was a part of your life.
But I mean, Derek Lunsford's Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
He's in your neighborhood. I'll be down there this.
Man, I love Derek. I love Derek. But, man, I don't not love bodybuilding. I just don't have space in my life for it. I was like, who's going to win? I'm like, I don't even know who's competing. And I love it. But, like, there's so many things I want to do with my time. And, man, everything in my life is weighed against time with my children. And so, like, if it's like, oh, you can go do this or you can spend 2 hours with your kids, like, it's not even a question. And the only reason I came out here is for this weekend is because I had a lot of things lined up. And I was like, okay, well, I told my kids, like, hey, I'm going for 4 days. I promise I'll be right back. I even extended a day to go out to Vegas. My daughter was like, Daddy. I was like, oh, I'll be back tomorrow. So, like, yeah, man.
So you're excited to go home?
Oh, dude, that's all that matters. The only reason I do anything is for that, man. So, the reason I work is so that I can have a little bit of freedom to get my kids what they want and have fun times. Yeah, that's it, man. It's pretty wild.
No, everything you're saying probably the last 5 years, he's been doing it more too, where obviously we work every day, but I'm always trying to plan something I can do that's not work involved. And for me, it's just going to places I've never been. So every year, like last year I went to 13 different countries.
Yeah.
And fortunately I can work from my phone.
Do you get your significance from work?
I don't know. I think I'm just so used to doing it that it's just so routine.
Yeah.
But I don't ever take a day off, ever. I wake up at 5 a.m., immediately I get things done. But fortunately I can do that. But then when I travel, I'll do my best to detach. Like this last trip I went for almost 2 months. In the last 4 days, I went to Zimbabwe and Zambia. And there I did my best to, like one of the ththings, I wanted to walk across a border where you walk across a bridge.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you can hire someone to take you across. I'm like, no, I'm walking. And I'm my back. I don't care. It was 3 miles, which halfway through I was like, this is a stupid idea. But just little things like that, going and seeing things is kind of my release now to where I never had that. All I thought of is I have to work, I have to make money, I have to make money, I have to make money. But what is it?
Yeah, I say,
if you have money, money is a tool just to go do things you want to do.
Correct.
So
yeah, and so that's what meditation did for me, is to understand what I really wanted to do. Because there's certain things that we do because we think we have to, or because society says it's important. Like, I got to have a nice house, I got to have a nice car, I got to have whatever. But like, what do I actually want? And so there's, I won't share. There's some deeper metaphors there, but like, spend some time with yourself. And it's often like, well, what did I love as a kid before the world started putting all its demands on me? Like, what do I want to do? And that's why I play so many sports. That's all I want to do. Like, play sports with the people I love. That's my life.
I was going to ask you, do you think all those years you were competing, do you think you were happy?
No. But see, I'm out of that. I'm out of this now, so I can literally. It's just hard for me to express sometimes because it's an emotional thing.
Dude, there's not a bodybuilder or maybe even an athlete who would say they're happy. I don't think. Like, could you say that one guy who's like, when he's doing it, he's truly happy?
You know when I know I wasn't happy? When I pushed time, which is like right now, every hour is so crucial in my life because the countdown is here.
What does that mean, you push time?
Time is so limited, meaning the concept of time never existed when I was training for a bodybuilding show, meaning I didn't care. I just get me to September.
Right. Oh, interesting. You were in a rush to get there.
I was a rush to get there, and now it's like life is now fast forward, and here I am at 52, which I never thought I'd get to 52.
Why?
Because I never envisioned that. I couldn't go that far ahead because I was only thinking the young guys game of bodybuilding. I was so engulfed into being the best bodybuilder in the world.
Man. That's why I think my kids were sent to save me. Every day I call them my angels.
But I don't look at, like I said, when I stepped out of this body, I look in the mirror and I don't look at the body at all anymore.
Sure, totally.
I look at the face and when I'm brushing my teeth or doing it's like I don't ever once go in a mirror and, oh, how's my chest or arms look today? Or how's this shirt look on me?
I thought you kind of started asking that question. Like, you used to look like this. Now you look like this. Do you like worry about it? I'm the same as you.
Not at all.
I couldn't care.
I still want to be I want to be lean
for a different reason.
And I want to get out of bed with zero pain.
Correct.
And I function. I'm thinking only function now. Like when I train, it's about, like last night I deadlifted, right? And then I did like hyperextensions after, and I'm like, strength of the back, strength of the glutes, stretch the ham, everything
mobility.
stretch. Yeah. And that's all I'm thinking about when I train now. It's not about, oh man, I got to get this pump. And, I just try to envision the muscles working and then to stimulate my brain of like, okay, shut your brain off. I don't want to think about what I have to do this afternoon and whatever else. Right.
That's meditation. So your brain can't think when you're present in the moment,
Another thing I've noticed, I don't plan anything anymore.
Plan anything like in your life, or you just kind of show up and see what needs to get done?
I don't like it when people try to plan things. He's kind of like that. Someone will say, hey, like, do you want to go have dinner next Friday? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing in 15 minutes.
Yeah, do not ask me next Friday.
Absolutely no. Yeah. Ask me 30 minutes before and I'll tell you.
My partner doesn't like that about me, but I'm the same. I'm like,
but I've noticed that even with like traveling places and stuff, I'll book the flight 2-3 days before and they're like, oh, it's $300 more. I don't care.
I'm the same.
I don't care. Because if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. If I want to do it, I'll do it. But I hate it when you have that plan, like I have to do this on this day.
Right.
What if you don't want to?
Right.
I'm
with you. Sometimes you got to plan, but like I prefer to.
But you're kind of like that too.
Yeah, I am. I'm very spontaneous. Let me ask you a question though. Am I 40? You've had a lot of faces come through there.
Yeah.
People talk about this gym. What is it? What's the aura of that gym? Is it something you've taken from the gyms?
No, man. So I built that place.
You made red equipment.
Yeah. So I built that place for me.
Everything.
Yeah, I built that place for me, and red equipment just put me in the right space that I wanted to be in when I was training. I'll tell you, you've never been, huh?
No,
you got to come in either.
You got to come. You come this week? You coming to Tampa?
I don't.
So here's what I'll say.
Friday.
Here's what I'll say. You'll know when you walk in there. You'll be like, I get it. You can't. It's just like Gold's.
Was Gold's red when you trained there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Red just did something for me, man. I might have saw it in a photo somewhere. I don't know. It just got me that right energy. So you'll know when you walk in the gym. You'll be like, go there, train legs. You'll know exactly what I mean. There's an energy in there that you're not going to get.
How many days a week do you train still?
4.
So you have functional training. You do do you still do like a body part stacking?
I'll do like upper body, lower body, sometimes full body. But really, it's just about I want to be able to get into every position I could possibly find myself in. So it's spinal mobility, hip mobility, like ankle mobility, like all of it.
What do you think about this push-pull training systems that people talk about now? People say, hey, I'm doing push day today. I don't know what that means, Ben. Like, this is terms we didn't use when we would do it, right? We just did like back, you know what I mean? Do you use these terms now?
Yeah, I know what they are. I think everything can be contextually useful for the right person. Like, so when somebody says doing a split, I'm like, great, as long as they have a reason behind it. Most people just do arbitrary bullshit because they see somebody online doing it. I try to be intentional with the things we do. I think everything can have value.
What about when people use the term macros or
so like if it fits your macros, like you got it like that we're getting at.
Did we use macros in our day though?
You eat calories, right? You
I know,
hit your protein.
Did we use the term macros?
Never use the term macros. No. Yeah. And I always say like there's different levels to everything, man. If you're a beginner or you're like just trying to get decent results, like hit your macros, man. That's great. That's a good term. Like you use that. That's great. But there's levels to everything. And I was really blessed. You asked about my mentors, and I didn't really answer that.
How many do you have?
A lot. So the greatest thing I did early in bodybuilding was get the fuck out of bodybuilding. And what that means is I didn't, bodybuilding, you in the US wouldn't have noticed this as much. Maybe you do. It's this NPC, IFBB clique where you got to work with this coach, and you got to work with this coach. You got to work with this coach. If you're going here,
You worked with some.
yeah. But I was just playing the game. But the thing I was really doing was like, oh, I have a guy over here who trains this Olympic team. I have this guy over here who trains this professional athlete team. I want to learn from those guys. And like nothing against the people in the IFBB, they're wonderful. But I was like, man, like everyone's doing the same shit. I'm like, how do I learn something beyond what these guys are learning? So I was very blessed to like work with some of the best Olympic coaches, some of the best professional athlete team coaches. Just learn different stuff. Like I think that was, I don't know why I did that. I think actually I do know exactly why. There's one of my best friends in universities, currently the number one performance coach on the planet, bar none. And he's exposed me to so many brilliant people. Like, man, what we don't see in bodybuilding is everything. Like the world outside of bodybuilding is vast and just brilliant. And like, we're like, you know, we're the most important people in our world, but outside of our world, these people are fucking geniuses, man. You know, like I was with the guy last week in Tampa, 2 guys actually. And the level of thought and depth that goes into the way they train an athlete, like you wouldn't even know what they're talking about. Like the way they think about the way the nervous system and the muscular system are working, and training in a pool to rewire the brain so the brain isn't, you know, compensating because over injuries. And you're just like, there's not a lot of people. This is like top 1% of the 1%, you know? And the fact that those things exist, that inspires me. Cause like, oh, I'm still excited to do this. Cause you get bored. Like, I don't keep training the same way. I get bored. So like meeting people like that has just always been.
So do you think like LeBron James or Tom Brady or all these guys have crazy amount of networks?
Yes, 100%. Like I'll introduce you to, if he's coming through Vegas sometime, I'll introduce you to my best friend. His name's Andy, and he's training certainly all the top hockey players in the world, a lot of top Olympic athletes. And you talk to this guy and you're like, he's fucking talking about stuff that you just don't even know exists.
So the last thing I want to ask you, we started this conversation. You're like, I can fix Regan's legs.
Yeah.
And a lot of other guys. So you understand, you do follow bodybuilding. You guys follow it a little bit because you know what someone's weakness is. Andrew Jack was the most spoken about athlete at the Olympia. Derek won.
Yeah. But
Andrew is on the come up. He's the 6'2" in our era. If a guy was 6'2", no shot, right? But he's a specimen. I mean, you see him because he trains.
I've never seen him.
Oh, really? I thought he trains.
I see him in his shirt on, but I've never seen him as close.
Yeah. Long limbs, probably different training style. You remember the guy never could squat as much if he was taller, like that, long limbs. You're saying you know certain protocols that would really help him training style wise.
I can't say it because I've never seen him train. Like he could be really good already.
Yeah.
But I doubt it, but he could be. But it'd be worth looking at. Yeah, I don't know. Man, it sounds really arrogant, like, but I don't want to come across that way. But most people have deficiencies or gaps in their training that if you could see in their body. You know, like, and so did I.
I tried to chase Ronnie Coleman. I did T-bar rows thinking that my back was going to grow like Ronnie Coleman's. I did the heaviest one-arm dumbbell rows and blew my obliques up by doing 200-pound. Think about the twist and every way waking up. Man, after my back was sore, but damn, my abs were really sore too.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Because that twist.
Yep.
I wouldn't, if I was to train someone today's era, I wouldn't have them do crazy one-arm dumbbell rows. That would be one thing I would advise against because I know what it did thicken me up in the midsection. Do you believe that?
Yeah, for sure. I think other things would thicken you up in the midsection too. So like heavy leg press would thicken you up. Just because most people, when you leg press, your hips are rolling. So if your hips are rolling, now the weight is like compressing into the abdomen. So the abdomen's going to compress out. You're going to use your abdominals as a prime mover. Things like that. I would probably stay away from super heavy leg press.
I'd love to sit and talk theories on these things someday.
Yeah, we should go in the gym, play with it.
You know, so I learn the ins and outs.
It's unbelievably
the things I did wrong through my journey of winning Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, right. And you did nothing wrong. That's the answer, right?
I mean, I was just happened to be that best that day because no one else stepped up the game. Did I have the best body on stage?
You got the end result, man. So that means you did everything right.
I've always said that. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. It's what works for you.
You got the end result. That's the one.
Who's the greatest physique of all time in bodybuilding?
You know, somebody asked me this yesterday.
What was your answer?
Top 5. They said, what's top 5? So I said, Dorian, Ronnie, Jay,
Flex Wheeler?
Yeah, you got to put Flex in there.
You're going to forget names.
Totally. There's a bunch of people, and you got to put Flex.
You think Phil Heath could be there?
Not personally. Like, I like Phil, but I wouldn't put him in the top 5.
Arnold, Sergio Oliva.
There's so many, right?
You really would consider me one of the top guys?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that just
I
because
call you early when you're competing with Ronnie. Like some of those years, you were fucking on. And then was it 13 the comeback? What year was the comeback?
13, yeah. 13.
That was fucking nuts, man. That was nuts. I was sitting there. I was like, that's fucking.
No, 09.
Oh, 9. Yeah.
09, yeah.
Yeah.
With
the
09, yeah,
with the
quad.
quad. Yeah, that was the best. Yeah, that was like fucking nuts, man. Yeah, so you got to, I'm not a big Kevin Levrone guy. I don't like people like him.
You like Sean Ray?
Amazing body. Wouldn't put him in the top 5.
Yeah.
I personally, sounds crazy, but I put Milos up there.
Really?
Put Milos up. I love
Holy
his
shit,
physique.
he would be fucking fanatical.
I loved his physique, man.
We're going to make sure Milos hears this. No, but
Yeah.
when you look at Milos's physique, he had a
crazy.
really good
That's
physique.
crazy. Like,
Have you sat and spoke to him
we
about?
traveled together, man. We traveled together.
Fuck, we should have had him on the fucking.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we decided this 2 hours
I
ago.
know, but damn, I would have loved to have him.
Yeah, he lives like a mile from me.
Yeah.
He comes here all the time. Yeah,
We traveled to Australia together to teach.
we'll do.
Were you guys like
Complete opposite.
really?
Complete opposite.
See, so he said
No,
you kind
no.
of insulted him.
No, what I meant by that
I
is
kind of thought at that. I'm like, damn.
no.
don't
What
know
I
if
meant
that's
by
a
that is
good thing when you
by
said that.
no. What I meant by
like
that is
you're Milo. He compared you to Milos or something.
No, it doesn't seem like
no, not that. Meaning really intense trainer and someone who thinks everything through. Not
Do you like
everybody
giant
does
sets? I
that.
don't
That was where Milos and I
Yeah,
we didn't
yeah,
get along.
yeah.
He's like, everyone should be doing giant sets. Everyone should be doing hyperemia. Everyone should be doing. So I was like, Milos, come on, that doesn't make sense. It's like I'm all about the individual, man. I'm like, I want to do something specific to you. He's like, no, everyone needs the same training. It's the most hard training. I'm like, that doesn't matter, man. Hard isn't the goal. The goal is to grow.
But did you ever do a giant set with
Of
him?
course. So with me, it's funny. Here's a funny story. Does Steve Weinberger listen to this? It's a funny story.
I'm sure he does.
2011. So I just finished in New York Pro in 2010, and I fucking finished. I look like shit. So 2011, I'm getting ready for the Flex Pro, and Milos just got out of jail, and he's back in Southern California. So I'm like going to the gym with him. I probably went 6 workouts, maybe.
What gym do you remember?
His Fullerton place.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I drive over to Fullerton, and did 6-8 workouts. And Milos just like coming into the Flex Pro, and Steve's there, and Steve fucking backs me up against the wall. It's like, you motherfucker, you training with Milos. And I was like, whoa, hold on. Like, I did a couple workouts. He's like, why is he here? I was like, Steve, relax. Like, and Steve was fucking pissed because I guess Milos wasn't allowed back in. I'm sure they're good now. But yeah, Steve was pissed.
Yeah, Steve loves him now.
Now loves him. Well, yeah, there was something, and Steve wasn't very happy that I was. Somebody saw him with Milos at Gold's, and Steve heard about it. I was like, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. We've been working out together.
Yeah.
Steve wasn't happy, but yeah. So I did.
Steve's a different man now too.
Steve's great. I've always loved Steve.
I promote 2 shows with Steve.
Yeah.
I mean, I go out. I'm at his workshop on the 7th of February. I fly to New York,
Yep.
and Sayal said he's expanding his gym right now. And
Dude, he's always been great to me, but that time he was pissed off.
yeah, that's
Whatever,
funny.
man, man to man, you know.
That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I did do some.
So he did some courses with Milos.
In fact, I insulin loaded for 1 show with Milos. I'd never done insulin for my life, but I did it once.
Did it work?
I was big as fuck. I was 293 the night before the show. I was 293. I was 282 on stage. That was the Flex Pro 2011.
And
was
what's your
big.
place?
4th.
Who won?
Evan. I was big, but not dry. Like, I was big.
What was your best ever?
Best placing was Arnold. Yeah. I liked my look in 2012 better than 2000. I was sick as fuck in 2013. Like, I almost died before 2013. I hadn't eaten in days, and I just stepped on stage and I got second. It was a story. So I wasn't going to go on stage. And the night before, that was actually the morning of the show. My best friend's wife calls and she said, "Hey, I just want to let you know he's not coming." I'm like, why not? He doesn't want to tell you. Like, why isn't he coming? He's got testicular cancer. He's got to go in on Monday to have his testicle removed. I'm like, fuck. And I'm sitting here complaining about a sore, but I've been throwing up and shitting out the eye of a needle for 24 hours. So I fucking called Chad. I was like, hey, man, somebody get me a tan. I'm going. I got second. I was fucking a mess. I was so sick. I literally thought I was going to die. I was cramping really bad, throwing up. Bad. Made it.
Do you think coaches are necessary in bodybuilding, Ben?
Yes. Good coaches.
But is it the eye or is it to keep you from going off the deep end type thing?
Everyone's different, I think, right?
Because you're a knowledgeable guy. You know when your body, you know how to eat, you know how to train.
Yeah, but you fuck with your own head. You're like, oh, should I look
That's
fat?
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
going off the deep end.
You need somebody. Yeah, for sure.
That's what I see, yeah.
Yeah. And so when you worked with, was Hani?
I worked with Hani and Chris. Remember, I worked with Chris
for a long time.
I worked with Chris Aceto from the 18. He came down and did a diet for me. I competed and won 2
Arnold's,
2 Olympias. Yeah, 3 Arnold's, 2 Olympias. After when I lost in 08, I ended up working with Hani, which just was by circumstance. It wasn't like, hey, I want to work with a new coach. It just fell into my lap because he checked up on me. And I'm like, hey, might want to bounce him. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to do it on my own. And then he stepped in, and then we did the comeback together. And then 11, the same thing. And then with 13, I went back to Chris.
What was the difference in 09?
Step mill,
Really?
Anti-estrogens.
A lot of them? Letrozole?
Yeah.
All of it. Hani was big
Stacked
on
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Having him, he was a great motivator.
Huh.
Where Chris and I, we were like family, so he just was like, fuck, you're just so good. Like, I remember him saying, it doesn't matter anyway, because you're too good to, like, no one's going to beat you, you're too wide. And you know what I mean? Like, and that's just Chris's demeanor. Sure. And I still feel like when we talk almost every day still, and we rarely talk about bodybuilding, but it's the same mindset.
Yeah.
You know, he's wildly successsuccessful in real estate and raising kids now. He's got 4 boys, you know. That's awesome. That's the same thing. He just went, family vacation. All we've been talking about is a vacation and real estate there and weather and time and time and time. Same thing. That's all we talk about is like, where's the time go? Because I was a kid staying in his house at 18. Sleep on my couch when I was 19, 20. Yeah. But there's a lot of comparisons, and I don't want to say, well, you asked the question, who's better? There's ways that I felt Hani put me on a step mill. I never done that before. Glutes and hams became important. Yeah. It wasn't as important back when I met you at Gold's and all that. Sure. Like, we didn't have to worry about I didn't ever worried about my glutes. I didn't train glutes. Then all of a sudden, Kai Green started training glutes, and everyone's like, oh, I got to do kickbacks and bridges and whatever else, right? So you have that, and that falls into the, man, if I would have stepped outside. I mean, I did kettlebell training. I did Pilates. I had a reformer in my house. That shit no one ever did when I was
you were young, or
no, when I was Mr. Olympia.
Wow.
So I had a girl that I was going out of my house, and she was doing Pilates with me. I did have one at home because I felt it worked well with the core, and obviously I felt it helped my muscles a lot. And she also taught me kettlebell training. So I was doing like extra things outside along with the tissue work beyond what anyone could ever imagine. I was flying back and forth to California on my day off, which was twice a week. I would fly at least once to California. My day off was spent going to that therapist and flying back.
So what was good about it? Was it just deep tissue?
He knew. He's the only guy that knew the mechanics of how my muscle was, like that IT band on the outside to allow the quads to expand. My infraspinatus, he would put his elbow in there, and the way it was just, you could feel the muscle, just the fascia, just wow. And the shoulders went from, you saw me in 99.
Yep.
Let's put it this way. My shoulders were like this. They would look wide probably on stage, but when he opened up that infraspinatus and everything and allowed, dude, the shoulders were like, it looked like I had shoulder pads. You had big shoulders like that too. I mean, that's how I won shows, with the width.
Right.
But it was just, he knew my body. I worked with, Derek Farnsworth learned a lot too. I worked with a therapist, a guy that he worked with down in San Diego. I used to fly to see him, Jeff also. I mean, I worked with a local guy here. His name was Jason. He was just a big burly guy, but he listened to what I said and said, hey, this is how I worked with the guy in California. And my muscles were so soft. So soft muscles, nutrients, blood flow, recovery, all the things we're talking about, why I go to the gym and train for function and not having injuries. And there was any exercise. I was doing stretching every morning. I finished the cardio while everything was warm and do all my stretches.
You still get massages now?
I do, yes. I work with a guy here, but I'm not as intense because I'm not training to that.
Yeah.
To that.
And I've had a massage in 5 years.
I don't call it a massage.
Right.
It's therapy.
Therapy, yeah. I haven't had anything like that.
Because I'm just trying to limit the restriction of what I can do.
So I've learned to do it through movement and yoga, which is unbelievable for me. I feel great 99% of the time without having to do it. And not saying I'm against it, but I feel like I've learned to contract and relax in a way that
So you do yoga?
Yeah, I do yoga
every week or
3 times a week.
Okay, with a coach or
I go to a class.
Is it hot yoga or regular yoga?
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay. Was it an hour and a half?
So it's as long as you want. We just say like a drop in. It's up to 3 hours, but
how long do you go?
75 minutes.
Everyone always goes over an hour. Could you do yoga?
I'm fat.
I started, it was 310, man. Yeah, I started 310.
And you're very flexible at this point, right? I mean,
Now?
obviously you're running and doing all this stuff.
Now, yeah,
That's
then
biggest.
not so much. But yeah.
Takes time. Everything takes time, right?
Right.
It's a life journey, man.
And the reason I loved it is because it's a mental game more than it's a physical game. Like calming your mind when everything in your soul goes, get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to be here. I'm uncomfortable. It's really hot. I can't breathe. I don't want to be in this position.
Overcome it.
Yeah, just gotta chill out.
Well, listen, we could talk forever, but I want to make sure I know we got stuff to do. So
Thanks for inviting me on, boys. I
yeah,
appreciate
man,
you.
it's awesome. It's been a minute since we got to really catch up and kind of
True
chat, and I'm glad that things are going super successful. So can people contact you?
Yeah, muscleintelligence.com. It's the best place to go. Instagram, social.
I'll link everything at the bottom,
Thanks, man.
especially when you do your
Warrior Monk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you just did it. It's over now.
Yeah, well, people are got to start buying now.
Yeah.
Do you have
Sell
any
out.
other trips planned that you're going traveling to?
usually,
right now? Big events.
No, man. I'm just trying to do it all for myself. Like all the events we do is either for my business or with my
Are you
family.
speaking a lot at different?
Yeah. We have a certification, so we're teaching performance coaches our methods. So has me all over the
How
place.
deep is that certification?
There's 3 levels. So the intro level is for everyone, for a trainer. Level 3's deep. Yeah. So it's fun,
There's
man.
a lot of information. It's all available on the website and everything.
Yep.
Check it
Yep.
out.
The certifications are only in person right now.
Okay.
Just kind of shift to that model rather than being online. But we're gonna have some online stuff. But right now we're just doing it in person.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you coming out, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you having me.
How long?
Hour and 36.